Hey students, welcome. I am Hisham Hussain Sheikh. In this video, we'll be on a spiritual journey because we are going to study a very highly thoughtful, spiritual, critically minded, a sermon, a preaching, a prose-like poem on children written by Khalil Gibran. Khalil Gibran, born in Lebanese in 1883, a Lebanese American poet, writer, philosopher. His notable works are The Prophet, The Madman, Broken Wings. On Children from the book The Prophet, a 1923 classic, translated over hundreds of other languages, which talks on almost every aspect of life, contains 26 poems, and talks on every relationship in the lives of human beings. In that book, here, there is a character called Al-Mustafa. He is the prophet. What do you mean by prophet? A prophet is an individual who is regarded as being in touch with the divine being. The divine being here is God, who talks on behalf of God. Here in the book, The Prophet, Al-Mustafa, who lives in exile in a fictional village called Orphelis for 12 years, there people come and ask him to share his views on life, what he has learnt of life before he lives. There comes a woman who held babe against her bosom and asks him, "Speak to us of children." There he delivers his sermon, that is on children. Before I recite the poem, let's know the key points, what this poem is exactly about, to better understand it later. So first thing, this is regarding child-parent relationship, responsibilities of parents, role of God, and a critique on usual expectations of parents, over-possessive nature of parents. Okay, now concentrate as I'm going to recite the poem. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. For even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable. The first line, your children are not your children. When I read this line, suddenly it looks funny, but not from the perspective of that woman. If I become father and take my child to that prophet and ask him, speak to us of children, and suddenly he tells, ये जो तेरा बच्चा है ना, ये तेरा बच्चा नहीं है. Now it doesn't look funny. It's rather heartbreaking. Then यार मगु इदु, किसके बच्चे हैं हम? Your children are not your children means whose children are we? There comes the second sentence, the second line to answer this question. The second line, they are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. Now see here, they are sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. What is this life's longing for itself? Life is a force, energy, greater than all of us. You can call it as God, nature, etc. It is life that expresses through them. ಈ ಜೀವನವೆಂಬ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಮೂಲಕ ತನ್ನನ್ನು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. It is really an unsolved mystery how and why it happens, but it happens. That energy flows and it creates something new. Here, they are life's creation. Now, see, one more thing very important to understand. This life is a continuous process. It's a creation. It is not created, it is continuously creating itself. The life that twinkles in all eyes, that beats in every heart, the motion that walks in all feet, that works in all hands, that is life, that is God, the energy. I'm talking, you are listening, the energy is flowing, and we are experiencing something unique, something new, that is God. Okay, simply for the examination purpose, you have to understand whose children are we? We are children of God. You can use the same phrase, this one, life's longing for itself. Understood? Okay, moving to the next line. They come through you, but not from you. Though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. Here Al Mustafa, the prophet, tells, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೂಲಕ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದಲ್ಲ. Parents are merely transporters like bus, train, airplane, which carries passengers, goods, etc. Like postman who carries letters or packages. Parents are mediators. God is the creator. ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಳದಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಥಳಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಗಿಸುವ ಒಂದು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ. Though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. Now he talks about the possessive nature of parents, their demands from their children. ನೀನು ನನ್ನ ಮಗ, ನಾನು ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸಿದ್ದೆ ನಿನಗೆ. No, it is not like that. You can't own them. You have chosen by the Creator, the God, to conceive them, not to own them. जब तुम खुद तुम नहीं हो, तो तुम्हारा क्या? There is a temple near to my home. They often used to play a song which says, ನಾನ ಎಂಬುದು ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಮಾನುಷ್ಯ ಜನ್ಮವು ನಾನಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಎಂಬುದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಮೇಲೆ ನನ್ನದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತದೆ? ನನ್ನದು ಎನ್ನುವುದು ಒಂದು ಮೂರ್ಖತನ. They are just gifts of God. They are akin to guests. You can't own them. Next, you can give them your love, but not your thoughts, because they have their own thoughts. Parents can offer their opinions, their thoughts as choices. Whether to accept it or not, it is left to children. You can guide them, you can be a guiding source. You can give them love, care for them. They are not puppets in your hands. Your children, not your ways and means to overcome the imperfections in your life. मैं टीचर नहीं बन सका, मैं डॉक्टर नहीं बन सका, मैं सिंगर नहीं बन सका, मैं एक्टर नहीं बन सका, मैं रेसलर नहीं बन सका. जो मैं नहीं बन सका, जो मैं नहीं कर सका, वो मेरा बेटा करेगा, मेरे लिए करेगा. मैं बनना चाहता था, ನಾನು ರೆಸ್ಲರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ನಾನು ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಟೀಚರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಆದರೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ, ನನಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. No. Why? This is not right. Because they have their own ideas, they have their own thoughts, own ambition, they have their own separate life. You must help them with your experience. You must not impose your thoughts on them. This is what Al-Mustafa is trying to tell. Now, you may house their bodies but not their souls. Their soul dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may house their bodies, not their souls. Physically, you can restrict them. But soul, here soul is intelligence, intellect, Atma, Buddhi Shakti. The best example I can give you right now here is the story of Buddha. Siddhartha was born in a royal family His father was a great king and he wanted to make his son a great king. He even tried to house his body. He restricted him. He prevented him from seeing unsatisfactory things in the world. But later, what happened? It was not possible for him. Siddhartha later became Buddha, an enlightened soul, founder of Buddhism. So that's why their thoughts are free. They dwell in the house of tomorrow. They are the children of future. You belong to past. See here, he tells parents belong to the past, yesterday. Children belong to the future, tomorrow. So you cannot visit there, not even in your dreams, because you are past, they are future. You have to help them, not restrict them from moving forward. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. Every generation has lived in a different era. Every generation is different. For example, now you see these techniques and technologies, what we are using. This generation, present generation, is very quick to adopt all these things, but not our father and mother. They may have often asked you how to operate this one, how to operate this smartphone, this camera, any other device. ये कैसे चलाते हैं? And you are guiding them, being a child or children of them. You are guiding them how to operate that. Means you are ahead of them. इसलिए अपने बच्चों को अपने जैसा बनाने की कोशिश मत करो. Don't try to make them like you. If you do that, they will definitely collapse, because life flows forward. लहर दर लहर, मौज दर मौज, बहती हुई जिंदगी जैसे हर पल नहीं. The river which flows wave after wave, unique in its every movement. This is the power of impermanence. There is nothing permanent except the law of change. We have to move forward. The life is flowing like a river, whispering the change in its every moment, whispering the change in its flow. We must understand this fact. Then only we can deal the situation properly. In this way, Al-Mustafa explains the fact of future and past, yesterday and tomorrow. Now, very interesting lines. You are bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. You see, very interesting analogy has been used. You, parents, compared to bows, dhanush. They, children, arrows, bana, tir. See here, children are arrows, parents are bows. What is exactly is being said here? We must go the next lines. Go to the next lines. The archer sees the mark on the path of infinite, and he bends you with his might, as his arrows may go swift and far. Now see here, the archer is God. Who is God? The archer. What he does here, he bends you. He bends you in the sense he gives you responsibilities. There you have to perform your duties. One more thing, path of infinite means path of life, a never-ending process. If parents run away from their duties and responsibilities, their child may fail to reach that mark which God has decided. ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ತನ್ನ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಯಿಂದ ದೂರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬಾರ್ದು. Let your bending in the hands of archer be for gladness. Means when he bends you with his might, power, means he is giving you more and more responsibilities. In difficult situations, he will put you. There, that bending is very painful. You suffer a lot. But in that suffering, there is a hidden joy. there is a hidden bliss. You only get that bliss when you perform your duties properly. Finally, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, he loves the bow that is stable. हम सब उस खुदा की संतान हैं. ಆ ಭಗವಂತನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ, whether it is bow or arrow, he loves us. One important fact to be remembered: arrow that flies, bow that is stable. If this bow breaks in between, if this arrow falls in between, अगर वो धनुष बीच में ही टूट गया, वो तीर बीच में ही गिर गया, तो अपने कर्म को करने में असफल हो गया. ಆ ಭಗವಂತನ ಪ್ರೀತಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಪಾತ್ರರಾಗುತ್ತೇವೆ? ಹೇಗೆ? ಆವಾಗ ಆ ಭಗವಂತನ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ವಂಚಿತರಾಗಿರಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ know your duties and responsibilities and perform them properly. We are going to have a glimpse whatever we have learned today. A short summary, we can say. You can see it on your screen. Thank you very much.